So, hi. I thought I'd take a minute to talk about the big news story here today, in mid-October, is that Elon announced the Cybercab, or some sort of autonomous cab, and really it comes down to the stock market that has said, "What is this?" They don't get it, and the Tesla stock has dropped precipitously. But on the other hand, also stocks like Uber and Lyft have like taken a big swing up. And the analysts, I'm sitting here watching Bloomberg, and analysts are sitting here saying that, oh, Uber and Lyft are the competition to Tesla on this particular type of project, and they are saying that Uber and Lyft are up because Tesla is down. It's like a zero sum game kind of thing. So basically, it comes down to Uber's loss becomes their gain. The funny thing is that analysts just don't get it. And when I use the term analysts, it's actually it's probably not really analysts. The people who attend meetings that make these big announcements. Professional influencers who are out there, getting invites to Elon Musk's California delivery. I think he did it at a Hollywood studio somewhere, like a Universal Studios or something like that. That he announced this new autonomous vehicle, and they're calling it I think they're calling it a Cybercab or something to that effect. And it's going to have no steering wheel. It's going to be a completely autonomous vehicle. And people just didn't understand it. They said that, Elon announces that it's going to be sold to the general public. It's going to be just sold to end users. And I guess the analysts or the people that were in attendance at this meeting, who are people that I guess just cannot think outside the box, they were like, well, why would you sell it to consumers? Why aren't you just selling it to big corporations? Why aren't you selling fleets of these to somebody? And the bottom line is that he's actually on the right track here. He's selling these to individuals because right now, in the world of the Ubers, in the world of ride sharing, I'm pretty certain that I use ride sharing all the time, and I'm pretty certain that the person who pulls up and quite honestly can't speak English and is driving a $100,000 Polestar, that's not their car right now. That is not their vehicle. They are driving for somebody. People are very frequently purchasing cars now so that they can put individuals in them and have them drive around. And those cars run 18 hours a day at least, if not more. Those cars are out there earning money for the car owner all the time. And they're doing that via things like Lyft and Uber and whatever other ride sharing services are out there. I mean, it seems like those are the only two I'm really familiar with. And those cars are out there on the roads constantly earning money. So really, it comes down to the car that's being announced by Elon and Tesla is a replacement. It's basically a way for those people who want to make money off of Uber and Lyft, and I'm not talking about like individuals swinging a gig economy kind of thing. I'm talking about people who want to have a fleet of vehicles that are running 24/7. Those are the target market. And the great thing is that actually it does come down to individuals also being able to purchase these and have them out there running on the road 24/7. I myself suffer from what's called low vision. I have poor eyesight. It's not blind. I have been legally blind in my life, and actually now I have low vision, is what I am. Think of low vision as somewhere between good vision and complete blindness. There's that middle area in which there's low vision. Because of that, I don't drive. And I've been thinking for a long time that it would be really nice to have, somebody like Elon out there go and spearhead a drive for, or spearhead a movement for a driverless vehicle, a autonomous vehicle that could be utilized by people with low vision. This does fall into that category. Ultimately, I do think that the real goal is a convergence of these carriages, is what I call them. They're being called cabs right now, but these autonomous steering wheel-less vehicles and the actual Teslas that are on the road. If we could figure out some way to make those one vehicle, what you could do is you could go out to dinner and you could say, okay, I'm going to be at dinner for the next hour and a half or 2 hours. You know, you're having a big dinner with friends, having wine and the whole 9 yards. So you say, okay, well, I need my car back here at 8:30, and but for the time being, until then, car, go and make me money. Go and pick people up and drive them around and all that sort of thing. And that's sort of what this little Cybercab is. That's sort of what this is. It can go when it's not in use by the owner, and it can go and actually drive around and earn money, picking people up and that sort of thing. One of the big stumbling points for that I was just actually thinking about over this past weekend, I was like, if somebody had a full self-drive Tesla where you can take your hands off the steering wheel and you have to keep facing forward, and if they had that, how would you accomplish what I just described, where you have the car go and make you money when you're not utilizing it? How are you going to allow someone to page that car and then make sure they don't get in your car and grab the steering wheel? And the way that the full self-drive works is if you turn the wheel hard enough, it's like a magnet. You'll feel it kind of pop, and all of a sudden you're back in full personal drive, full individual interactive drive instead of full self-drive. So, how are you going to keep a person that is renting, or has just paid $15 for, use of your vehicle, from popping it off and then going for a joyride on it? And that was kind of the question I was trying to think of. How do we address this? The one solution I thought of was, when you're sending your car out to pick people up and drive around, just don't allow anybody to sit in the driver's seat. Say that the driver's seat is off limits. And also, in locking the steering wheel, that sounds a little, I don't know. That sounds like it could be tricky. Anyways, I had sat there and thought about the idea that the ability to take your car when you're not using it. When I'm, sitting here at home, I don't have to leave the house until, say, 10 or 11 in the morning. Wouldn't it be great if I could just tell the car, okay, from 7 until 10, go and drive around, see if you can pick up, and maybe it's only going to make, I don't know, $30 or $40, but that'll easily pay for that day's charge. And it's out there earning money. And let's say it earned $30 or $40 in those sort of time frames each day. Well, that's $900 a month. Can you use $900 a month? I sure could. I think that anybody, I mean, maybe people that can afford, say, a Ducati or something, or I guess Ducati's a motorcycle, somebody that can afford an extremely expensive vehicle, maybe they don't care about $900 a month. To those of us in that middle tax bracket, almost all of us, could say, yes, I'd love an extra $900 or $1,000 a month. And that's just like, it's passive income. It's passive income. It's basically telling your car, go and do this while I'm not, while I'm not home, or while I'm not using you. And so these individuals who are very confused and making the Tesla stock go down right now, I liken them, and this is a great example, the people who don't understand what Elon's idea for this Cybercab is. They're the same people who, 5, 6, 7 years ago, Apple was talking about the Apple TV. Apple TV was going to be the next big thing. And these analysts were like, oh, Apple TV. And they actually thought, these dum-dums actually thought that there was going to be a 70-inch iPad hanging on the wall in their living room. That's what they thought Apple TV was going to be. I knew that wasn't. I mean, I personally, when it came out and when they were talking about Apple TV, I said, that's not practical. Why would anybody want an Apple TV? And it turned out that Apple massaged that idea down to, well, now they got like 2 or 3 different products that are called Apple TV. You have a little box, that's your Apple TV. You have the actual service, Apple TV Plus. Well, we stuck a plus at the end of it. That made it different. So it's in an app called Apple TV. They really never settled on it. But the analysts, thought that they got it because they heard the word TV and they know what a TV is. And they said, oh, Apple TV. And now they're hearing the word cab and they're thinking, oh, it has to fit the current model of what I think a cab is. And it doesn't, because innovation does not actually adhere to the past. It looks to the future. And that's what this is doing. I applaud Mr. Musk. I think, at 217 or whatever dollars it is a share on the Tesla stock, I think I'll go and buy a dozen shares right now. What the heck? Because it's going to go back up to 250 as soon as people get the, idea that, and the whole reason that Uber and Lyft stocks are going higher is because Uber and Lyft is going to be the number one customer buying these new vehicles from Tesla. That's what it comes down to. Those stocks, the cost of doing business for Uber is actually going to drop for this. So yeah, that's my explanation. I'll get off my soapbox, and y'all have a good day, and thank you for tuning in.